All right, guys, new intro here for the Bear Pack. We already crushed the 7K subscriber goal, so we are going to update that board here for you guys. Look at Joe Burrow, looking at all these nice, tasty giveaways. We have the 8K sub jersey giveaway. We have the 9K sub sports memorabilia giveaway, 10K subs, the big one, $1,000 giveaway, and the 12K subs. We're going to send a couple people to a game of their choice. Guys, we are very excited for the football season, but no more talking. Let's get right into this video, Trey. All right, guys, let's get into some NCAA football picks and props for Tuesday, October 24th, slate of games. Take a look at that leaderboard. Trey, starts off.
I don't know why I'm fist pumping so much because I gave out a dudder. I gave out North Carolina minus 22.5 in their game versus Virginia. It was a doo-doo pick. Virginia might be one of the best teams in the ACC. Who knows from what they looked like last weekend. So that was embarrassing. Sorry about that.
Yeah, college is so hard. You don't see that in the NFL. You don't see horrible teams beating good teams like that. So that's why college is so interesting and fun to watch, though. So the bad teams always have a chance. But I had Minnesota plus 3.5 going up against the Hawkeyes. A little controversy at the end of the game. I don't know what anybody else is seeing, but that was clearly a fair catch in my eyes because I also had the under 30.5 points. And historic day for us because we went with the under. It was the lowest college set number in history, or at least since 1991, and we hit both of them, under 30.5 and plus 3.5 with Minnesota. So 2-0 day for me. Seth?
Yeah, and I took Miami money line, and boy, oh boy, was it sweaty. I was scared when they got down 14-7, and then they came storming back and won in double overtime. I should technically be 2-0 because I gave them out plus 3, and I also told you guys, hey, just take them on the money line. You might as well. It's plus money. They're at home. So ended up being 2-0. Good pick for me.
Beautiful job by Miami. Let's move on to our plays for tomorrow. Only going to be one game on the slate. New Mexico State going on the road to take on Louisiana Tech. Louisiana Tech at home, the favorite, minus 2.5. The over-under is 52.5. Trey, we'll start with you.
Yeah, and I think New Mexico State should start sending us money for how much that we talk about them. Sure. I feel like it's a weekly basis that we're just giving out some free sponsorship to New Mexico State. But they've been a pretty fun team to watch, and so has Louisiana Tech been this season. I want to take the over here, but 52 points I feel like is just so much, so I'm too scared of that. But I'm going to be taking the home team here instead. Give me Louisiana Tech here on the money line at minus 135. It's a little juiced, but I feel like it is a really great bet. And I love the over, but I'm too scared. But I love the over because these two offenses are honestly pretty elite. New Mexico, they're led by Diego Paiva. And Paiva, he has 20 touchdowns already this season, 16 passing and 4 rushing. Paiva, he's just simply a dog that puts the entire team on his back. And that's what he's been doing for the past month. And Louisiana Tech, they're led by former Boise Stater Hank Bachmeier. And Bachmeier, he has been injured during points of this season, but it does seem like he's finally fully healthy, or at least healthy enough to play this game. And Bachmeier, so is his partner in crime in Smoke Harris. And Harris, he's a dog as well. He has almost double the amount of receptions and almost double the amount of receiving yards to the second guy on both those lists. He's just been Hank Bachmeier's guy this season, and I don't expect that to change. And with Louisiana Tech being the home team here, I think their crowd is going to be buzzing in. Whenever you look at the history of this matchup, it is absolutely dominated by Louisiana Tech because these two teams have faced off 7 times, and Louisiana Tech is 6-1 in those matchups, and they've outscored New Mexico State 238 to 143, almost 100 more points scored for Louisiana Tech. So it's been domination station, and I expect that tradition here to continue. So give me the home team here on the money line with Louisiana Tech.
You said a lot of good trends, Trey, but we have been opposite brain the entire night. We had a lot of controversy on the member side. I'm interested to see what Seth's going to say about this game. Seth?
Yeah, I'm baffled. I thought when this line came out, we would all be on New Mexico State at plus money. Like, I don't know why we wouldn't take New Mexico State plus money with how they've looked. The only win Louisiana Tech has picked up in their last 5 games came against UTEP. They have not been playing good.
To be fair, though, they didn't have Hank. They didn't have Hank, to be fair.
And something just seems smelly about this line. New Mexico State's looked elite. It doesn't make sense why they're underdogs here. I know it's a road game, but Louisiana Tech has not looked too terrible.
True. Everything true. Go ahead.
They haven't looked too terrible, but when I can get New Mexico State at plus money with how elite their offense is and how they can move the ball up and down the field on anybody in their conference, I'm going to take it. Diego Paiva is a monster. He's great. I love watching him. He's fun to watch. And honestly, Louisiana Tech, I know they were without Hank Bachmeier, but they've been okay. They haven't been that impressive. I think New Mexico State can go in there and put up a ton of points in this game. And when I saw they were plus money, absolutely. That's all I needed to see. I know their defense isn't that great, but I also haven't been impressed with Louisiana Tech's offense despite not having the quarterback. Bachmeier, is all right, guys. He's not a game changer in my opinion. So I don't like Louisiana Tech here. Right when I saw plus money, I jumped all over it. So just give me New Mexico State here.
Yeah, Trey's got me a little scared, actually. Now I'm overthinking it, I think. So I'm just going to take New Mexico State. I'll buy the point, though, take them plus 3.5, get the possession. So far, this team's been a cash cow for me, so I'm not going to go away from them. They've won me the last couple of weeks, so I'm going to keep backing them. I do think they're the better team in this game, despite what the spread says. Louisiana Tech, they've lost 4 of their last 5 games. Things just seem to be spiraling out of control. They are getting some good news. They get Hank Bachmeier back, like Trey said. I just don't think it's going to be enough in this game going up against a red-hot New Mexico State team. New Mexico State is a very good team on the ground, and Louisiana Tech gives up nearly 200 yards per game, allowing 4.9 yards per carry on the ground this season. Last week, Kavia, he was great through the air and on the ground if you watch that game. So I expect him to be even better in this game going up against that really bad rushing defense for LT. So give me the Aggies on the road plus 3.5 as my play. Let's move over to the player props, boys. Trey, start us off.
Yeah, and I was 0 for 0. I honestly have no idea what happened. I gave out Pat Garwo to go over his 57.5 rush yard versus Georgia Tech. He did not even sniff the field. There was no injury report on him before the game. I don't know if he got into a tussle in the locker room, called the coach a little bitch. Don't know what happened, but he did not play.
Seth?
Yeah, and I got a little bit overzealous with Jaden Daniels 3 weeks in a row. They absolutely mud stomped the Army team, and he did not play very long in that game because he put up 4 passing touchdowns in a span of 2 quarters. So,
sorry, boys. I'm getting some, I guess, breaking news. Justin Ross, Seth, has been arrested. Felony charges, $25,000 of damages. You know anything about that?
I do not know anything about
Probably
that.
went to Andy Reid's house and smashed up his car for not giving him no playing time.
That's your guy.
I mean, guys, it probably is a little frustrating for a player who had so much upside and couldn't battle or get by his injuries, and
you can't blame CTE because he has not sniffed the field in like 5 years.
We did have a neck injury, so you technically could.
Yeah, I just want to say that to distract people. I had Bo Nix over 295.5 passing yards. He had a 293 with 10 minutes left in the game. They were up by 24. They didn't pass the ball. They had 1 pass attempt to Troy Franklin, a little slant, but he dropped it. So that would have cashed it for us. But he had 1 attempt after the last 10 minutes of the game. So I was very disappointed in that. But 0-1 day for me. Let's move on to the player props from Ron. Trey, start us off.
Yeah, and I'm going to go over to the receiving yards. I'm going to take Smoke Harris to go over 80.5 receiving yards against New Mexico State here. I really love this over for Smoke. No, not just because he has a legendary name, but also because he's had a legendary season so far. Through his first 8 games, he's averaging 77 receiving yards on 7 catches. He's basically the entire offense, passing offense for Louisiana Tech. And yes, I know that 77 yards is just slightly below this number, but this game's going to be on national television, and I think that that's going to motivate him to turn up just a little bit more in this game and to get over this 81-yard number. Plus, he's getting a very juicy matchup against this New Mexico State passing defense, and because the Aggies, they give up the 44 most passing yards per game this season with an average of 248 passing yards per game. And Smoke, he has about 35% of Louisiana Tech's catches this season, so that projects him to finish right around 87 receiving yards, which is over this number. And over his last 2 games, Smoke, he has been lighting the field on fire because over those 2 games, he's averaging 123 receiving yards on 11 catches. So I expect Smoke Harris to be smoking these New Mexico State defensive backs all game long. So give me him to go over 80.5 receiving yards in this game.
I like it, Troy. Seth?
Yeah, guys, and I haven't had a number come out yet for the one I like, but I really like Kaiden Salter, Liberty's quarterback, over pass plus rush yards. This quarterback's a very dynamic dual threat quarterback, and he's just been super, super good all season. I'm guessing this is probably going to be set around the 300 mark. I have no clue, guys. But when I say very dynamic, in his last game against Middle Tennessee, he had 160 rush yards to go with 140 pass yards, and he's eclipsed the 60-yard rush mark in 3 of his games this year so far. The big thing here is I think this is going to be a high-scoring game, so I do think they're going to have to throw it a lot more than they normally do as they rely heavily on the run. But against this Western Kentucky team, I don't know if they're going to get by with just being able to run the ball here because even though they are elite running the ball, Western Kentucky could honestly score every time they touch the ball as well with Austin Reed in that offense. So I do look for Kaiden Salter to have the ball in his hands a lot more in this game. as they are going to expect him to throw and run in this one. So I look for him to be able to dash through open lanes and also hit open receivers down the field in this game, as it should be a pretty high-scoring game between two really high-powered offenses.
Yeah, I like that one as well, Seth. For my player prop today, I'm going to take Diego Pavia to go over his rushing yards when it comes out on PrizePicks. Last week, Pavia over-under was 61.5 rushing yards, so I expect it to be somewhere in that range again this week. I would take his passing yards in this game, but Louisiana Tech is the 15th best team against the pass this season, and that's mainly because teams are getting it done on the ground against them. They give up nearly 200 yards per game on the ground, and Diego Pavia is the leading ball carrier on this team despite being at the quarterback position. He has 90 carries already this year, having 525 yards, 4 touchdowns on the ground, averaging 5.8 yards per carry. The next closest person in this is the starting tailback, Star Thomas, who has 67 touches for 321 yards. So that does go to show you how much he does carry the ball for this team. The last 2 weeks for Diego Pavia, he's carried the ball 15-plus times in both games, and he's had nearly 100 rushing yards in both games as well, having 96 against UTEP and 115 against Sam Houston. I expect him to dominate again on the ground, especially going up against this team who I've already said they give up 200 yards per game on the ground. Give me Diego Pavia to go over his total rushing yards, whatever it comes out at. Hopefully we get it around 65 to 70, but just give me Diego Pavia to go over his rushing yards for tomorrow. Trey, why don't we throw up that graphic? Oh, is he out?
Yeah, it was out, and FanDuel has it at 73.5.
All right, that's good enough for me. 73.5. That's not bad. All right, let's look at the graphic really quick. Seth, how do you start us off?
Yeah, so when I saw New Mexico State was plus money on the money line, I had to jump on that and take it. And then I do have Kaiden Salter, Liberty's quarterback, to go over his pass plus rush. This is not out yet. I think it's going to be around 300, but he is a dual threat dynamic quarterback, so should be a high scoring game as well. So he should be able to air the ball out more in this game.
Trey?
Yeah, and I gave out Louisiana Tech here on the money line versus New Mexico State. Lone Wolf that game. And also gave out Smoke Harris over 80.5 receiving yards in that same game against New Mexico State. I just love Louisiana Tech here at home. I expect that team to just show up and play.
And I'm going with New Mexico State with the points. Trey scared me off the money line. And Diego Pavia over rushing yards looked like 73.5 on FanDuel. So hopefully PrizePicks gives a little bit lower of a number, but I'm still confident with 73.5. But guys, that's going to do it for NCAA football plays for Tuesday, October 24th slate of games. If you guys enjoyed the content, please sure to drop a like in this video and subscribe to the channel below. We'll see you guys next video, and thanks for watching. Multiple questions this morning about how to become a member for the YouTube channel. Let's do that really quick tutorial. You're going to go to youtube.com. You're going to go to Bears Profit Plays. You're going to search it in. You're going to hit our thing. There's a join button right just to the right of subscribe. You're going to click that. There's 2 options. You have the Bear Pack for $4.99. That gives you access to YouTube member plays. And then you have the Bear Pack Gold for $7.99 a month. That gives you access to our member plays on YouTube, and it gives you a 1-month membership to our website, bearsprofitplays.com. So if you get the Bear Pack Gold, you save yourself $2 a month, a little bit cheaper if you want to do that. But that is the tutorial for anybody that needed it. We had multiple questions today through email about how to do it, and it wasn't working. But if you want to know, there it is right there. Trey,